Hi. So in this particular video we'll be discussing about Flutter advanced development. So we'll be covering some of the important concepts which are important in terms of Flutter advanced development. As Flutter applications becomes more sophisticated, developers must efficiently handle asynchronous programming, networking, local storage and background processing. So in this comprehensive guide you will learn features, streams, async await, isolates, error handling, REST APIs, WebSockets, Pagination, offline caching, retry mechanism, secure storage. So let's learn one by one. First we will be covering the theoretical concepts of each, then later in this particular video we will be also going to the coding demonstration. So what is future? A future represents a value that will become available sometimes in the future. So let's say we have, for example, we have ordered a particular menu in the restaurant, and it will prepare, the restaurant will prepare and will serve you. So it will take some time to, so that particular, like same way we are asking something to execute something in the code, and it will give you the response in sometimes later. So that is how that is why it is known as future. So you will get the value in the future. Okay, so if you see the cursor here, so this is how we have to define and a particular future method, like so this particular method is like fetch user, and here the return type is string, but it is wrapped with future. So like this we have to create a future method, and for the future we have to mention this async keyword, so that async and await, so these both are important. Like in the method declaration, we have to mention this async just after the method name. So this is a syntax, we have to just remember it. And what is the exactly what we are doing here inside this particular method? We have to mention await future dot delay. So this is example, but let's say in this particular line, like if you see the cursor here, we can do some other network operations. So that, let's say we are calling some HTTP call and getting the response from the API. So that also we can handle here. But this is for but how future works for that thing, it is just a example. Just but make sure we have to use this await, async and await. The both are important here. And after that we are returning a particular string. So basically it's after some, as per this example, after some, to make you understand, just after some time we are returning this particular string. So this is how the future works. And in the main method, like to get that particular value, we are just calling this fetch user, and while calling also we have to use this await. So string user equals await fetch user, so it will give the particular name like John after few, like after 2 seconds. That as per this method, after 2 seconds you will get this particular name John. Okay, so this particular method will return the John string. So after that, it once you will get that, it will print that. So this await fetch user, basically what it does is, this execution will wait till the value will return. Await means it will wait till the value will be written. The control will not go to here until it will get the value. So that is why we have to mention this await. Okay, so what are the common use cases? REST API request, like as I have told you recently. So in the REST API request we can use it in database queries, local storage, reading files, AI model loading. So these are the examples or use cases we can use this future. Now next concept is streams. Unlike future, which returns one value, a stream returns multiple values over time. Like future, basically what happens, we are just calling something and it will return a particular value. But in stream, continuously over a time we can get some multiple values. That is how the stream is like what like how stream works. The difference in stream like future and stream is stream will give you continuous multiple values over a time. Okay, so example include chat messages, livestock prices, GPS location updates, Firebase fire store, sensor data. So basically when in some scenarios we need multiple values over time, in that case we have to use these streams. Okay, so how streams can be created? So here in this particular example you can see this is a counter method, and we are using this async with a star mark. This is what the syntax of stream. So first we have to wrapping the return type with stream. Basically this return type is integer, but we are wrapping it with stream, and this method is this method declaration also we are using this async with star mark, and we are using a for loop for int 1 equal to 1 less than 5, and this is a iteration of 5 for loop, and await future delay with 1 second it will give you some value, and yield I means it will give that particular I value. Okay, so this is how this streams. So we have just created a stream method. Okay, now we have to listen it. Basically to get that particular value we have to use, so stream is created. So the syntax of stream is like this. So we have created a stream method. Now to get that particular value we have to use this listen, like counter dot listen, so it will return that value. So this is the syntax we have to, so this is a kind of lambda implementation. We just have to get it like counter is a stream dot listen. We are listening to that listen is, so this is a kind of subscription. Okay, so counter dot listen, and we are getting that value in the callback, so we are printing it. So streams types, basically there are two types of stream. One is single subscription stream, another is broadcast stream. We'll get to know more about stream in a later in another video, but here we have to cover all other things as well. So we'll be just understanding the theory part and some the coding demonstration as well later on this particular video. Okay, so next concept is async await. So Flutter performs asynchronous programming using async await. So whatever asynchronous programming in Flutter we have to use async await. Without async await, asynchronous code quickly becomes difficult to read instead of nested callbacks. So why async await is required? Basically async will make you a execution in a background thread, and await will wait for the completion of the execution and will give you the value after the execution done. That is why async await is important, and instead of nested callbacks. So this we are avoiding the nested callbacks using the async await. So here is the example. So let's say we have used it in the previously regarding the future. So same thing here as well. So this is a future which is wrapped with because this particular method doesn't return anything, so it's a void, and we are using this async, and in the try catch we are getting it value we are calling API dot face data. So it's an example only, like face data, like we are calling a API, and we have to mention this await and getting the value in the final data in this particular variable. So after that we are printing it. So basically what are the advantages here? Cleaner code, easier debugging, better exception handling, improved readability. So this is what async await gives you the advantage. Now let's move to the next concept, that is isolates. Flutter uses a single UI thread. Heavy text can freeze animation, definitely. So if we will be doing like a heavy task in the UI thread, then definitely it will hang the UI thread, and it will freeze any kind of it's not only animation, maybe depending upon the performance, depending upon the execution time, If it will not execute in the frame time, then definitely it will freeze the UI. So that is how we need to use isolates. So isolates is basically will provide us a single thread to execute something. Okay, so examples are image compressing. So we have to do these kind of operations in the isolates: image compression, PDF generation, AI inference, JSON parsing, and video processing. So these kind of operations, those are heavy tasks we have to perform in the isolates. Isolates solve this problem by creating separate memory spaces. So this is example, like we are getting the result, await, compute, uh, pass JSON and JSON string. Like we are passing, we have to need to pass JSON is a method which will return the list of users, and JSON string, we are passing that JSON string which need to be passed. So this is example, just a theoretical example. You just need to understand how isolate works. We'll be doing a coding demonstration for it also. Okay, the next is the benefits of it: smooth UI, better performance, background processing, multi-core CPU utilization. So these are the benefits we'll be getting from the isolates. Okay, so let's move to the next concept, that is error handling. Every production application should gracefully handle failures. So while we are doing some code execution in Flutter, definitely there might be some situation when error will come, and exception will also happen. So that, how to handle that? Like let's see some common failure scenarios, like no internet, API timeout, invalid response, authentication failure, database exception. So these are kind of scenarios where error may come. So how to handle that? We have to use this try. Inside this try block, we are calling this get users and getting it. Then we are handling it with some on socket. Let's say there is a possibility of socket exception. So try, in the try block we are calling the method, and in the on socket exception we are printing it, and on timeout exception, these are the might be the exception cause. And finally we are doing it like catch block, and inside that we are printing it. So in this way, this is a format like how to handle the error exception, how to handle the error handling in the Flutter. So best practices: try to use try catch, error logs, show meaningful messages, retry when appropriate. Okay, so retry thing we will be learning in this particular video as well. Now the next concept is REST API. REST APIs allows your Flutter application to communicate with servers. Popular examples are, so we have to basically for this API communication, we have to use some of the popular packages. Those are HTTP, DIO, retrofit. So we have to use it in the Flutter, like to make it happen. And the example here is final response. So this is the example: final response await HTTP dot get URI.parse. So this is just an example like how to get this HTTP call, and after decoding the JSON, we are getting this particular value. Best practices are repository pattern, model classes, dependency injection, error handling, timeout configuration. So these are the example of REST APIs. The next concept is WebSockets. REST APIs are request response based. So what is it? Let's discuss a little bit the difference about REST APIs and WebSockets. So in the REST API, we are giving some request and getting a response, but in WebSockets provide real-time communication. So WebSockets provides real-time communication. Common examples are chat apps live cricket scores, crypto prices, multiplayer games, notifications. So these are the some of the examples of WebSockets. So whenever a continuous continuous communication required, like the request and response need to be continuous, in that case the WebSockets comes into place. So let's understand some example of it, like the theoretical example. Like here, final channel, it's a channel is a variable WebSocket channel dot connect, and we are calling this particular ws example dot com. So it will connect to a channel, and this will a continuous process. Okay, that is how we are getting it. So here we'll be getting the messages channel dot stream dot listen. So this is again a kind of callback implementation. Channel dot stream dot listen, as because we are getting a stream, then we are listening to it to get the value, and we are getting the callback using this lambda implementation, and this is a message variable, and we'll be printing it. Okay, this is how we'll be implementing the WebSockets. Then next move to the next topic, that is pagination. So pagination, basically it is required when there are let's say example, we are showing some of the items, large number of items in a particular list. So to show everything in a single list, drop down list, is very difficult to manage. So in that case we have to paginate it. Like let's say there are 1,000 items or 10,000 items. In that case we can show 100 items in each page, and in the next page we can show also 100 items. So it will be easy to as user perspective, and also application perspective, it is easy to handle and also easy to use. So that is why pagination comes into place. So here we have to use, like so there are some packages we have to use it: infinite underscore scroll underscore pagination, flutter underscore paging. So these are the packages we can use to paginate the items. Benefits: faster loading, less memory usage, and better UX. So these are the benefits, definitely, and we'll be understanding some of the coding example about it, okay, later in this particular video. The next topic is offline caching. Modern applications continue working even without internet, right? So offline caching stores data locally. So in some of the situations we need to store data in the local database. So in that case we need to use this offline caching. Popular solutions are, what are the solutions you can use for it? Hive, ISAR, SQLite, shared preferences, and Drift. So these are the technology we can use. These are the libraries we can use to do the caching offline caching. So we'll be understanding some of the coding example about it as well. So what is the benefit about it? Like faster loading, offline support, better reliability, and reduce API calls. Okay, so basically let's say in some scenarios we don't need to call the API every time. So once it will get the value, till it is not updated, we can store it in the local system. So that is how this offline caching is important. So in this scenario we have to use this particular concept. Then retry mechanism. Networks are unreliable. Instead of immediately showing an error, retry automatically. Like whenever, sometimes let's say we are calling something from the API, and at the some of the moment it doesn't return that value due to some network issues, due to some internet failures. So in that case, let's retry for some of the more iterations. So that is what the retry mechanism is. So in this particular theoretical example, you can see, like we are when the API fail, we are doing a first attempt, then second attempt, then third attempt, and then if it is not available till the third attempt, then we are showing some error. So we are not just keep it in the first attempt. So that is how some of the things we have to use a retry policy. Okay, so this is how it is implemented. So we have to do some for loop, and as per the requirement, we have to use some of the retry policies, how many times we can retry it. So that is how it is very easy to understand. There is nothing more new about it, and we are just using API call here. Yeah, so best practices: exponential backup, maximum retry count, retry only temporary failures. So depending upon the situation, we have to use it. Depending upon the project requirement, we have to use this retry concepts. The next is secure storage. Sensitive data should not be stored in a plain text. Example like JWT tokens, refresh tokens, API keys, user credentials. So some of the data are very important. Hacking of this particular data will also cost for the application, cost for the project, cost for the client as well. So that is how we have to secure this important data. So for this we have to use a package that is Flutter _ secure _ storage. And example, like theoretical example, we can use like this. This is the concept. Like Flutter secure storage, we have to create a variable of Flutter secure storage, and we can use it by await storage dot write key and value. So basically this particular object will keep the values in terms of key and value. So we have to use some key and value, whatever important data we need to keep it, so we can use in that. Okay, so how to read that? Once we store that, we need to also read that or to get that. So final token await storage read, we have to read that particular using that particular key, right? So this is how it is. So why secure storage? Unlike shared preferences, secure storage encrypts sensitive information using platform specific security mechanism. Basically it's a wrapper on top of the native implementation. So let's say because Flutter applications are basically used can be used in Android devices and also iOS devices, but if you see the native implementation, there are some other concepts. For Android key store is there, but for iOS keychain is there. So there are two different concepts for the same things to achieve. So that is why basically Flutter is wrapping over it on the native concepts. So if we use the Flutter secure storage in Android, it will use the Android key store, and in iOS it will use the iOS keychain. Okay, like that it works. So this is a best architecture combining all these concepts. So I will share this particular link in the video description, and you can go through it, and you will be understanding some coding demonstration about this particular concepts. Okay, so some of the frequently asked questions in this particular post I have already mentioned in this particular post. So is async await better than using dot then? Yes, async and await. Async or await generally results in cleaner, more readable code and simplifies error handling with try catch. Definitely. Okay. The next is, when should I use a stream instead of a feature? Use a feature for a one-line result. Definitely. When we need a one-time result, then we can use the feature, such as fetching a user profile. Yeah, but when to use the stream? Use a stream when you expect continuous updates, such as chat messages, live locations. In that case, we have to use the stream. Okay, then what is the next question? What are isolates used for? Isolates are ideal for CPU intensive tasks like image processing. Basically just like I have told you in this particular video, isolates creates a UI thread to execute CPU intensive task. So basically it's example like image processing, large JSON parsing, AI inference, or PDF generation. So this kind of heavy process we need to use isolates just to avoid the UI freeze. Yeah. So what is the next question then? Should I use WebSockets for all API calls? No. Use REST API for standard request response operations. Choose WebSockets only when app requests real-time bidirectional communication. So that is the difference. API, whenever we need to just call a request and get a response. In that case we have to use the http, like REST APIs. But when we need a bidirectional communication, in that time we have to use the WebSockets. Why is Flutter underscore secure underscore storage preferred over shared preference? Because it encrypts sensitive data using platform secure storage, that is Android key store or iOS keychain, making it suitable for tokens, password and API credentials. Okay, so these are the some of the FAQs we have also understand. Now we'll be going for a coding demonstration. So just stay in this particular video. So now we came to the Android Studio, and here this is a Flutter project, Flutter demo project, and I have created for you just for your understanding. So we'll be going through the coding demonstration of some of the important concepts that we have discussed now, and let's see how let's see how it going, and we'll be see the output, and we'll be understanding how it works. So some of the basic things, like we have to go to this pubspec yml, which is the file where we have to put the dependencies. So we have added this http and WebSocket channel, and Flutter secure storage and shared preferences. So these are the dependencies we have added. So for our coding demonstration, these are the packages we need to add it, and we have click on the pub get to get the sync these dependencies in the project. Okay, so now let me go to this main.dart, where all these methods has been implemented, and I'll be showing you how all these things will be working. Okay, so first we'll be understanding the future, like how the future works. So what I have done is I have created a simple method, like this name is a test function. Inside that I have keep all these concepts as a method, and so we'll be calling one by one, and we'll see the output and see how it works. So this is the yeah, so let me show you. So this is a fetch user method. So fetch user is a method, and which returns this future wrapped with string, and after some delay it will give the string. I mean after some 2 seconds of delay duration, it will return that name. So it's my name, so it will return Shaktidat. And the next is for the stream also I have created this counter, and it will return a stream. It is wrapped with int. The same thing, same example, this is I'll be showing in the code how it works. We'll be running this, and we'll see the output. And here also it will return a 5 times it will return that count values. So that is how it works. Okay, and like that, this is the API call. Okay, and this is for WebSocket, and this is for secure storage. So these are the 4 basic important things we will be understanding. Other things, like there are 11 concepts we have understand, and some of the important things in the coding demonstration I will be showing you, and the rest of the things you try by your own, and if any difficulties, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let me first open this future. So like I have opened this. So we'll be this is a I'll run the application, and will there is a button event, click event. I'll click on that button, then this method will be get executed. So now let me run it. Just a minute. So I think device is not refresh. Okay. So now the application is being installed, and now I have to click on this plus button. This is a demo app. I have clicked on the plus button, and here in the console you can see this output Saktidat. So this is for the first implementation for the future. Okay, so basically it executes very fast. Here what you need to understand is basically it is not the output comes after some time, and like after 2 second of delay. I'll show you again. Now if I click on here, see after 2 second it came. Okay, so this output, so that part you need to understand how feature works. Now let me comment it, and I will open the stream part, how it works. We will be seeing it, we'll be trying to understand it. So let me run it again. Yeah, now it is executed. Now click on this plus button. See, now you can see the output here in the below. So there are 5 iteration of stream, and it shows one by one in a particular time interval. So that is how the stream works. Stream basically it's a sequence of output. It will give you in a particular interval of time. That is how, that is what the stream is. Now let me comment it, and we will go to the next. This is isolate. Isolate basically it will execute something CPU intensive work in a UI thread. So that will that will help to avoid UI freeze, because it has to be execute some CPU intensive job like image processing or JSON parsing kind of thing. So this is just for example we are just trying to understand. This is a simple isolate, because we have to just keep an await, and it will execute, it will give you the result, and it will print it. Okay, it in this particular example we are just squaring this 20, so the output should be 400. So let run it. I think we have already run it, and we'll click on this plus button. Okay, now you see the result is 400. So these are just simple examples. This is for isolates, and now this is API call. API call basically we are calling a API like third party API, and we will be getting some output from the API. That usually take some time, and it will it is also kind of CPU intensive job, because it depends upon the backend server. So that also need this async await operation. So if you go to this get user, if you see here, this is async, and we are also put this await. So this is a basic syntax of API call, and let me go back. Here get user, and let me run it. Yeah, I think it is done. Let me click on this button. Yeah, now you see the response. This is a JSON response. Okay, so this is a JSON response, we got it, and this is how the API call works. I hope you understand so far. Now the next is WebSocket. So WebSocket is basically it's a bidirectional communication. So that need okay, now we will be checking it. Sometimes what happens, this particular URL that I have used here in the channel, we have created a channel and WebSocket channel. This particular URL, sometimes this URL doesn't work. If in that case you have to just use a, because in the because what I'll be sharing that post blog post in the description. You can go to that and try by yourself. In case if this URL doesn't work, you have to replace with another URL and try by yourself. So just for we will be just understanding, we will be going to that particular now channel, like how it works. Let me run it. So to get that, because if you see the syntax here, channel, we are created a WebSocket channel, and stream means it will stream dot listen, it will listen the message here, and sync means we are basically channel, how the value, we are creating a particular input, like here we are getting the value, but in this channel dot sync add, we are basically adding this particular hello string, hello flutter string, and this should be come here. So that is how the sync meaning, we are like, if you understand, a stream is like a river, and from one end, if something we are syncing in any object, that should be available in the another end. That is what the meaning of sync and stream. So let run it and we'll see if it works. We'll get some output. Okay, now you see this is on handled exception because of this particular URL is not working properly. So that you try with another URL and let me know the results, and then whatever issues you are getting, put if that particular, after changing the URL, if it works, then let me know in the comment section. In this in this coding demonstration also, we have understand how future and how the API call works, how WebSocket works, and if you like this video, please share to others, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching.